Alright, should be recording. Hopefully nothing crashes. I did do about 10 hours of recordings over the weekend, so it should be fine. Not in this. Yeah, I was able to get a review done, and damn did that go badly. But not for the game, just the audio screwed up for me. First, it was on that OBS profile, because OBS has this weird problem of basically forgetting to forgetting what audio devices are for one reason or another. It was definitely annoying, that. Okay, it's just, it figured out how to feed itself before. I'm not going to worry about that. So yeah, that was definitely frustrating. That OBS forgot audio devices. So I did 3 hours before discovering that, because I had no audio. So fine, restart. Fortunately, the game wasn't that long. So 3 hours was still quite a hit, but it was acceptable. It was possible. Well, that's a problem. Why are these off? Hang on. Yeah, Steward is up there, so... Wait, what? The hell is... Okay. Hang on. I didn't even see this. There was an update this week. I saw nothing about this. 9.5 though, coin bartering. Which that makes sense. So I'm guessing that's they can actually be a currency, and does refer to this as a mini update. But no, I swear, I did not see this. Animal protectors. It's I didn't even see that there was a download for it. Yeah, but no, that happened. I just completely missed it. And apparently there's also one for the last spell. Anyway, animal protectors, so certain pets will protect... Oh, pet dogs, wolves, and bears will protect other enemies in the proximity. The sheep here won't do that. I doubt the cats will either, although technically they should be able to. Oh, okay, torches, braziers, and production buildings, while the flame is on, also protect animals. Even through walls. Oh, that's handy. Settlers while awake also protect small animals. Good! I lost those 2 chickens, remember? That was a few weeks ago. Not just simply not be attacked. Neat. Healing V2. Patient job. Okay. This solves the issue of wanting your settlers to be tended, but you don't want them to... Oh, okay, I see. No, I'm good with that. So that's... They explain that the idea is you don't want them lying down if they could work, and they're just doing nothing because they are injured. This way they can lie there, and somebody can tend to them, but if they don't need tending, then they'll still work. Also, apparently the self-tending. Healing kits in the food pouches have different priority on out. Oh, yeah. Oh, we now have birds? Oh, okay. Currently it's just visual. And building cosmetics. Okay, but yeah. I saw nothing about... I don't know why. I do not get the PR stuff for Irregular Corporation much anymore. I don't know why. But because that's the publisher, and I just realized I completely forgot to say, and maybe that came through that I slapped myself in the head. The key was provided by Tinsley PR for the Irregular Corporation. They are the publisher, developer is Foxy Voxel. Alright, that... Yeah, so I turned that up, so that's fine. Yeah, so tend yourself if you need to. But anyway, going back to the OBS thing, yeah, certain Windows updates will clear what the audio devices are, which is quite annoying. But Yeah, it just, for whatever reason, did that. Didn't realize it. But so I did 3 hours, no audio. Then I redid those 3 hours. And what did I discover? The audio device was being mapped to the wrong tracks. Hey, I had the audio, so it's like, whatever. I'm still gonna use it. But damn, that was still so annoying. Okay, turn that off. What do I want that for something. I do not remember. Like, there was something specific. Maybe just been I want to do the beekeeping, which does take some. Yeah, actually it is 10 that I want. But they can both be paused for now. But, yeah, so I finally got that straightened out. And hey, I might do another review this weekend. If it weren't for the fact that the game in question is apparently short, I probably wouldn't. It's been a pain trying to do the this one review already. Even though I got the gameplay done over the weekend, just I haven't been having much luck. Okay. Hadn't been having much luck. I know you're doing other things, but yeah, I really do want to try doing this. There. And I have no idea what's going to happen with this fox. It's still up there. That's awesome. Okay. Now, put a ladder there, so I'll be able to go up and do it. Or, seriously, they can just jump down? Anyway, but yeah, just it's not been easy because after work, I do not feel like spending time writing a review, especially when it gets days away. So I don't know. I do want to keep doing reviews, don't get me wrong. It's just figuring out the scheduling for it is a little tricky. Please don't try to eat him. Okay. It failed, but he didn't try to eat him. Really? Huh. What is it that they're waiting on? It's waiting on iron ingots, so I'm actually done with all that? Yay! Who's blacksmithing? Down here. Huh? I don't get the joke, at least. But that'll be 30. Perfect. So are being worked on. Well, that's annoying. Having a window outside a window. Which one's suffering from cold? Polina. Okay, you are wearing winter clothes, so I guess it's just cold. Yeah, I can actually do a little bit about that, I think. Here we go. What are my resources? Okay, I got a lot of limestone. Where's limestone brick? Because I should also have some of that. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Here. Yeah, let's just use limestone. Although that is true. Hang on. I do have some stuff to talk about, though it's not as... not as super interesting. Well, no, it is interesting, but it's not quite the same. Yes, I know, this is going to be a lot of wood. But I also am liking this geometry I'm going with here. Well, not that. Just this way, that is a more efficient use of what's there, and it's, I think that should mirror fairly well, because it's, like, it would have one here and then one there. Okay. Yeah, everyone's sleeping. But, yeah, so we'll see what I do with this review. If I can get it done, get the gameplay done early enough over this weekend, such that I can get the bulk of the writing done, not completely done this weekend, great. That's what I'm going to try for. If some of the writing has to go into Monday, I'm not so bothered by that. But it's like with this review, I spent 2 days on the stories section. Yeah. Well, 2 evenings, and then I still have to do the gameplay and conclusion section. I've started putting in notes, though, yeah. It's funny, my story writing has helped, because sometimes it'll be days or weeks even between writing stuff and that. It's like, well, I make notes that will help me, like, these are the points I want to hit. It's like, well, I gotta do that here. It's right here. I'm gonna do that. I'm a little annoyed, by the way, that it's, these are not being taken out. Yeah, I'm gonna need to get more wood. Okay. Yeah, and is that fox still up here? Yes, it is. It's hungry. Can... Where is it? It's possible I'm just overlooking. Yes, here it is. I was looking more for that, where it's actually got stuff in it. There. But yeah, so the one thing I actually... This has been a fairly easy week, which I'm happy about for the news, because it's just... when I also have something else to work on, it's not much fun when I have to spend basically all of Thursday just on that. I have to, like, it can take a while and it's not much fun. Anyway, medium. Yeah, I don't. But I saw a rumor. People talking about a rumor that RDNA 4, AMD's next generation GPUs, might only be mid-range, which would be similar to Polaris and RDNA 1. In that, Polaris only went up to, well, technically the 590, the RX 590, but I'm just gonna say the 580, because 590 was like specially binned 580s, and the 580 is technically better than the 480. Just that wasn't just better binning; there was some minor changes. It was a stepping, though. It wasn't like a full new generation. But yeah, that's what topped off. The RDNA 1 only had the 5700 XT at the top. Alright, what's the temperature? It's not terrible in there, but we'll still put... put some stuff down. There. Okay, so they have in fact cut down those trees. All right. And I also feel like pointing out right now is definitely one of those, prioritize this over those. But yeah, so with this room, I'm not sure how much I really am bothered by the idea of it. So some are, well, okay, let's consider what it would mean if this rumor is true, that RDNA 4 RX 8000 is just mid-range. So that technically would mean the 8800 XT or XTX, let's just go with XT, would be the top of the line. But that might not compete with a hypothetical NVIDIA RTX 5090. I don't care. I'm sorry, Halo, I understand why Halo products exist. That it matters, the 4090 matters because the fact that NVIDIA has it will make people think about NVIDIA and gaming performance when looking at other parts. That is true. But mid-range is what people predominantly buy. Like, people might be impressed by the 4090, but then buy the 4070. Okay? I was like, that is a real thing. So I'm not sure how much I would be like, I'm bothered by the idea that that they're not getting certain things. That we're not getting the high end, we're not getting the Halo products. It also does come down to pricing. Pricing, of course, is very, very important with all this. I did also see at least one person point out the whole, well, in theory, you could see yes, vermin control, please. You could see AMD's been trying with the GPU chiplet stuff, which currently there's a single GPU chiplet and then a bunch of memory control chiplets. Potentially we could see the 8000 series RDNA 4 using let's actually put these two down to low, because it's not a big deal there. These more so matter. Yeah, so that's a much more comfortable temperature in there. Anyway, so in theory, you might see GPU in just multiple GPU dies. Maybe, though. That depends, because the single GPU die in RDNA 3 is really big. So you couldn't combine them that well, but maybe AMD has cracked the code there. That, they needed the first generation, then they cracked it. And if that's the case, then it would be the Zen 2 moment, the true Zen 2 moment. I know some people were saying that about RDNA 3, but it's like with the single GPU so massive. Yeah, I'm not so certain. And by Zen 2 moment, I mean with Zen 1 and Zen Plus. Like my Threadripper, it's just two of those connected together. Same thing with oh, neat! I didn't even realize that would be the case. They're technically a different type. Nice. Anyway, I know, I'm sorry, my brain keeps switching off like this. But yeah, so it was, the complete component was there, and they just... The heck? Oh, there it is. Weird. I wasn't expecting that to completely disappear like that. Anyway, whereas with Zen 2, they finally broke it up, where we now have the I/O die and the separate compute dies. That's quite a bit different. Steel might have been what I was looking for. But I think I want to do blacksmithing first. But let me also get both of these. There. I'm sorry. It's been a long week too. But yeah, so maybe RDNA 4 will be the true. There we go. The true achievement of the Zen 2 kind of thing, where there can be such different designs, different layout. But the true multi-GPU chiplet design. There we go. That's what I was trying to say and kept stumbling over. I don't think I can do this. It would be neat if I could. I can! I'm legitimately shocked because of how these things had to line up. That's awesome. Alright. And what does it take? It is limestone blocks. Okay. But yeah, so if they achieve that, because then they could have the Zen 1 moment as far as, no, come on. No. Pop that down to low. Oh yeah, that needs to be closed. But you could have the Zen 1 moment of the single product spanning the entire product stack, which that would be a big deal, and then that would also mean that the high end would just be multiple GPUs together. But it's hard to say. I mean, if the GPU die ends up being is still so large, I could see it not happening because of that. Just because of that. Yeah, let's hunt that actually. Get some food in here. I mean, we should have some food. It's also, like I said, just go hunting on that thing. I do not want to go after a boar. That will kill someone. The deer shouldn't. Okay, hang on. Where's... Here we go. Alright. It never even got hit. He's gonna run out... Oh, it finally got hit. He's gonna run out of arrows, though. Okay, maybe give up on that one. Yeah, so with the whole... I just... The idea of doing mid-range focus on mid-range, because that's also, it is what people buy. It is what people want to buy. People are annoyed with AMD for not having the mid-range out yet. So why are we freaking out so much? Okay. Come on, there's somebody around. You. I don't care what you're doing now. All that. Oh. Walt is taking care of it, actually. Good. And, you know what? I'm sorry, this is just not how I want that going. There. There. It did get built. Neat. I have no idea what those would be used for. I don't see the swords being sword or birdish being useful either. Let me check though. Where is it for? Okay, so it would be along this. Yeah, so it would be coming down this way. Anyway. But yeah, so I just... And yeah, I made a lot of notes, though. Oh yeah, that's right. There's also been a reference to RDNA 3.5, 3.5. So, I mean, maybe it's just there wouldn't be... The top end wouldn't be RDNA 4. Maybe it could also be a variant of RDNA 4, like an RDNA 4.5. I mean, it's just... Hang on. Like, this is actually a significant problem. It's like that's supposed to be my food. Okay, but there's nothing I can do. Okay. No, that wasn't Sandy. That did anything there. I guess I need to somehow secure carcasses as well. Oh. I was like, why is it frozen? Ah, son of a... Seriously, somebody, just get up and do that. This really sucks. It's like, no, don't sleep. Do this. Yeah, I do think that that's what I have to do. I mean, in theory, maybe I could do something here, but... Well, yeah, I could. I could put in a basement. That would be for the holding of carcasses, animal carcasses. Walt? This is not going to go well. Okay. Why are you going anywhere else? Oh, I forgot I did this. Where did it go? Oh, it got moved, didn't it? Did it? Yes, it did. At least it shouldn't be decomposing. Oh, yeah, I have years. But yeah, so it's like... And who knows, maybe if they also focus on the mid-range... I think I did briefly say and then got distracted. They will... Maybe if they do that, they will focus on... And my brain just turned off. Maybe then they will focus on doing better pricing. Because, I mean, that's the thing that really sucks right now. And also there's one other thing that occurred to me when I was writing out notes for this. How much do we actually care? I mean, it's like, what is the high-end today? What does it actually constitute? It constitutes ray tracing. I mean, when you stop and think about it, the bulk of games like this are rasterization. They're not ray tracing. Okay, the fact is, rasterization is what matters the most now. Okay, not ray tracing. Well, stop and think about what that means. Today's mid-range is capable of 4K 60 with rasterization in many cases. I'm sure I don't have one, but it's like they are pretty damn powerful and can handle that. So when people are saying that, you know, oh, this is going to be mid-range, it's like, yeah, but where's the problem? It's like for the bulk of what people would be playing, mid-range is an excellent experience. So, okay, ray tracing might not be so good. Don't turn it on. And now you have a wonderful experience. So it's... I don't know. It does seem like that is also worth being part of the conversation. It's like, high-end only matters right now for ray tracing. If you don't focus on that, mid-range is great. Even low-end is pretty good. The low-end right now, I'd say, is more an issue of pricing. But saying that aside, the weirdness of like using by 8 connections instead of 4x16. Maybe some VRAM, but I'm sorry, I honestly reject a lot of the stuff that they say about, oh, we need more VRAM, because like memory streaming has gotten so good in recent years and years that I don't know, it kind of feels like we shouldn't need to worry about that a whole hell of a lot. Actually, I should just be along the outside. Oh. This is going to be a lot of sticks, I know. But still, if I get those built, then that is a lot that I can manage there. Alright, wow, they actually managed to even do that. There's a reason why I'm doing this, even though I don't have the resources for it at the moment. It also would be really nice if you could click and drag these. There. Now I can do this. Get the floor down. Yeah, go ahead. Come on. But yeah, I mean, it's just... I mean, realistically, the mid-range is... It should be what sells the most, but also should legitimately be what most people are interested in. The whole... the heck is... Oh. I guess I killed it. I didn't mean to. Yeah. There isn't much else to talk about. At the moment, it's like it's just getting quiet. But yeah, I mean, it's... I do think that there is an over-obsession with the high end that isn't going to serve the consumers that well, that maybe prioritizing mid-range is better. That's one hell of a hypothetical. I completely grant that. But I still think that my point isn't invalid. That the performance that people actually care about is what the mid-range does give you, so focusing there. And let's also face it, RDNA 4 should provide even better performance at mid-range than we see today. Like, it should still be a leap in performance. So really, what is the complaint? You know, I also just realized something. Hang on. There should be... more advanced traps. What is it? Okay. Okay. How actually are you guys so low on that? Cut that down. We actually should be out of winter soon. Alright, the traps are there, so hopefully that'll mean fewer foxes and such running in. Hang on, let me just also check. What was anything? No, nothing specific. I mean, just the last point that I had written in there is the whole, what is the point of high-end anyway? I kind of like this. It's actually working. Except that they keep just, you know... Oh, okay. Perfect. No. Absolutely allow that. Why wouldn't you? Wow, that I did not expect it to be that effective. I am gonna have to put some traps in them. Because that's taking too long to reset. And at least, yeah. I can get more sticks, though, because I can just tear up the floor in the storeroom and replace it. Okay, you know what? All that. And see, that's one of those. I have haul at 1. No, I'm going to do all this other stuff first. There's another one. I literally told her to do something and she just ignored me. Yeah, we can turn off hunting on that. Oh my god. I never thought that it would be this effective. Because, I mean, look what's happening now. I've gotten like 3 different foxes this way. What is she doing? No. Haul to the stockpile. I mean, that's a lot of meat I just got. I'm definitely looking forward to when this is open. And there is some there. But it's also, I might be able to do some stuff to help with preserving the meat. Because there's ice making. Is a thing. Here, ice making. Oh, also cooking. I should probably try to get to that. Yeah, and I know nobody watches this stuff, but I do. And it's like, so I can't really be like, what is your opinion on? I just clicked out, by the way. That's why I did that. I wanted to see how long I'd been going. But I do think that is a worthy point. Is that what is the high end actually serving for us? And I think today it is ray tracing. So if that isn't your concern, then you don't need to be thinking about it. You don't need to be worrying about it. Like, I think a lot of people want to convince you should be. You know, especially in video. That they want you to think that, oh, if ray tracing isn't good, that therefore the whole thing is a waste of time. But who cares? Ray tracing isn't that important. Okay. Good. Actually, no, leave the wood off. Yeah, this is also a reason to try to put the basement there, so they don't have to run back and forth so much. And here. So the highest priority there were the carcasses. And I will even turn off carcasses right here. There. I can probably actually stop very soon. Yeah, so that legitimately should actually take care of the food supply for a while. It's like, you know, once this is done and these things also being fed. Animal Feed, it looks like could be better. Well, they're getting something, so it's not that big a deal. Yeah, I did not realize just how effective traps would be right there. But it is also a little bit annoying because I really should expand these out. I can figure something. Well, maybe I can figure something out. Okay, so that's comfortable there. Now I will do the actual save and stop at the autosave essentially. But yeah, I mean, just I don't know. I don't get the obsession with so when my original Vega 64 died, and I put the RX 580 in, it definitely helped me personally because even though I would do the performance analyses and be like, okay, well, what is actually the minimum acceptable? But it's like, well, now I actually have to sometimes configure to that, and it's like the RX 580 is still viable for a lot of games today. Like you can tune things in and get the performance you want. So it is kind of funny that this obsession with I don't want to have to do any such tuning. You've got to be kidding me. Why would you leave that out? People are such idiots. I don't think we have to worry about AI trying to take over the world. They can't even figure out that, oh, I should put this stuff away. Anyhow, I know it's a different kind of AI, but still. But no, I mean that original card failing basically forced me to recognize that something that I knew to be true but hadn't really chosen to experience yet, I guess is a way to put it. That these are in fact okay. I'm sorry. I'm also just looking at the last spell patch. It looks like it's just fixing some minor things. Fixed a bug, fixed a loading issue, changed some perk descriptions in Russian to better reflect the original text. So nothing too significant. But yeah, I mean, it's the whole push to getting the highest of the high end. It's Nvidia loves it, AMD loves it, Intel loves it because they make the most money there. I mean, think about it this way, especially with let's go back to Zen 1 AMD CPUs. And you can see it with today's as well. But the 1800X and the 1300 cost AMD the same exact amount of money to produce. Okay? So if they're making profit at that 1300, which, yeah, I'm pretty sure 1300 was still Zen 1. But anyway, it had most of the cores turned off because it wasn't that good a chip. If they were selling that and making a profit, the 1800X, what was that, $500 or $600, was making them a lot more profit. Now, true, there were fewer of those, the supply was constrained, obviously price would go up, but the actual manufacturing cost was low. That's going to be the same thing with the GPUs, although typically you do see multiple dies. AMD does 3, NVIDIA I think typically does 3, sometimes 4. There's the 102, 104, 106. Sometimes you do see the 100 die used, and I think there have been 108s. But it's typically like 102, 4, and 6 that'll go to the consumer GPUs. With the 102 being the 80 series, sometimes 70 series, the 104 being 60, sometimes 70, and then the 106 being the like 50 series and lower. So it's like they know that the 02 dies for NVIDIA are more expensive because they are larger. But that's part of the reason why AMD going to the chiplet design technically Zen 1 even still was chiplet in concept. It was a step towards it. With Zen 1 was such a big deal because it meant they could mass produce a single design that would be cheap, thanks to mass production, economics of scale, but they could sell at very high prices in the markets where that quality of chip, because you need to do the binning, where that quality of chip demands such a price. But it still gave them such flexibility. That's part of the reason they could charge less than Intel. Now, unfortunately, it was the 500 series where they stopped charging so much less than Intel because they had such dominance. Though it does seem like they set prices high and then they do come down and have official or unofficial official price drops. But it's like, that's... If we can get to that in GPUs, and maybe that's what RDNA 4 will attempt, it will be more of a... Maybe it will be mid-range, because, we haven't figured out how to get this really well-built for a high-end, but we can have the whole multiple GPU chiplets connected together. If they figure that out, and then it's RDNA 5, they get it out there, so now they're learning a lot more from having a real physical product. But then maybe it's RDNA 5 where it's like, okay, now we can do the high-end very well. I'm not sure I'd complain, because it's also, you're not going to get bad performance. You just might not be getting as much performance as you hypothetically think is possible. Why is that your standard? I mean, it's like that is something to consider as well. What are the standards you're saying that they have to meet versus the reality of what is it you actually want to pay for? Yeah, I mean, and also one thing I will also add that does kind of bias me in a way is I had the money. I could put in a new GPU in the desktop. I don't want to. I honestly don't want to. I'm going to keep the 580. It's working well. It's working great for everything I ask it to do. I think I would rather just let that be. That is the desktop's GPU. And in the 2 years, it might be, when I may finally do a new desktop, then I'll put in a better GPU in that. And yes, I absolutely believe that my RX 580 will hold out that long. I absolutely believe that the performance there is still good enough. Absolutely. But that does bias me, where it's like the high end, how much do I actually care about this? Not so much, because I'm experiencing what would today be considered lower end, but it's still, I'm experiencing that and I'm happy with it. I truly am. So, yeah. And for anyone wondering why I said 2 years, I want to do I want it to be a Threadripper build that I go to. I don't know if I want to do... Yeah, it's Zen 4 that they're on now. I think, even though there are supposed to be Zen 4 Threadrippers, I think I'd like to wait and see a Zen 5. Just let teething issues be worked out. I've been happy with my 1950X, don't get me wrong. I've been very happy with it and the platform it's on. Even though I got first generation stuff, so they were definitely teething issues. But they haven't been so significant to be a problem for me. But it's just with Zen 4... I think I have the luxury of being able to wait because I am happy with where I am. It lets me do everything I want to do. That, yeah, I would wait. That also lets me build up some more money for Zen 5. And then that's... I'll tell you, I think that what I'd like to go to, I have 16 core, 32 thread now. I think I'd like to try a 24 core. Step it up that way. Because that more cores will be nice. They also can be a hell of a lot more power efficient and powerful cores. Do something like that. I'd like to keep the AMD GPUs because I love Radeon Chill. I don't get to use it much with the 580, but that's okay. But it would probably be, the 700 or 800 series level, so mid-range. Might be upper mid-range, but I wouldn't need to go to Halo product level. I wouldn't need to go to top-end, high-end. That's for my uses, not necessary. I would also, at that point, try to go to a new monitor, larger monitor. But everything I have now, I love. It's great. It does everything I need. This is a pipe dream kind of thing, and also... Physically, I don't have the space for any of this. That's another reason to wait. Because maybe by then, things will have changed enough that it's yes, I can have a new desktop. I can have a larger monitor. Maybe by then. I don't know. But, maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe things will change and enable that. But yeah, I mean, it's... I don't know. I guess one way to put it is I'm kind of tired with some of this stuff. So it's I don't want to get hyped up in one way or another. tired isn't really the right word, because I'm not exhausted by it. I'm exhausted by the hype, but not by the news, not by the concepts, not by the ideas. It's kind of like going back a few weeks, which, oh my god, I'm so glad it seems like it finally died out. The BS around, is AMD trying to keep DLSS out of games? That whole thing, which I think I did say it, that AMD not responding outside of that original marketing thing that was poorly written. But I mean, the first responses from marketing almost always are when a controversy, or pretend controversies, I would describe that, come up. But it's like, I felt AMD's best course of action was just to keep quiet. Don't put any energy into it. Don't add it. Because then people are just going to keep talking about this thing that shouldn't be talked about in the way it was. It was not journalism. That was not tech journalism at all. It was because it was assuming things that were not evidence. There was no evidence of. It was just a hypothesis that there was nothing to support. It was just a hypothesis, and people were making it as a conclusion. But that has died out. I don't remember why I brought that up. Aside from just, yes, that has died out. Oh yeah, that's right. It's something. That's what I mean by the whole I'm tired, I'm exhausted of the hype. Because I look at that and it's like, okay, this is barely qualifying as a rumor. I honestly don't think it was even a rumor. I think it was below that. As I said, a hypothesis without evidence, without real evidence to support it. But that's what I mean by being tired, being exhausted. Where it's like, I see, okay, well, you're pointing this out. You've noticed this pattern. Does that have any meaning to it? Not necessarily. No. So am I going to get hyped up about this? Am I going to get excited about it? No. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't deal with hype anymore. I'm looking at this. If AMD had an actual comment saying, yes, we are doing this, we're going to stop, or no, we've never been doing this, and we're not going to, I would cover that. If developers came out and said that, yes, this is a thing, I would cover that. None of that happened. Therefore, I never covered it, because I'm not interested in the hype. I'm interested in the news. That's what I meant by some of the stuff I'm tired with. And I kind of see that with this debate about if the next AMD GPU, if RDNA 4 is only mid-range. It's like, right now, the discussion on that is hype. But is the reality, the underlying, if this would happen, is that so bad? Personally, I don't think it would be that bad. It wouldn't necessarily be good because, as I said, Halo products help sell lower-end products. But at the same time, the lower end, the mid-range, that's where, and lower end relative to Halo products, that's where mid-range is what sells. That's what matters. So if there's a good focus there, and good parts there, and good pricing, good pricing, then this is all good. There's no reason to hype that, oh, this is a problem. There's no reason to get anxious, no reason to get excited about, oh, there's a problem. Because there isn't. That's all. Yes, I'll be stopping soon. I need to get lunch. I'll work on the review. Hopefully, in theory, I'll be able to submit that today. Because the gameplay section shouldn't take me too long, and then the conclusion, then media stuff. And I may rest some today, leave the other review that I'll hopefully try to do this weekend until tomorrow. I also have some errands to run later today, so I won't have as much time to do... I might be able to do some prep work, but that's it. But it's like, just enjoying some time off, enjoying some time that I don't need to be working. I would like to do some today. Actually, I would never like to do that this weekend, but the review will throw that out. So yeah, that's basically how my weekend's gonna go. But yeah, hopefully in the next few weeks, I don't want to say anything more specific. During the month of August, hopefully I end up with 2 reviews coming out. 2 game reviews. At least one. It's the second one this weekend that we'll see how things work out there. But yeah. Alright, I should really stop talking. Yeah, I'll just stop there. See you next week.